welcome to W2 Kitchen. So today we're cooking udon. I used to live in a place in Japan called Saga, where bar owner, who used to be an udon noodle chef, made his own udon and served it to me as a Japanese carbonara. So we've got a raw egg, got udon, got some spring onions, some katsuobushi, which is the world's driest food, and then we're going to make a very strong soy sauce with a little bit of dashi, and because Saga's in Kyushu, it would have been sweet soy sauce. So I'm going to make a faux amakuchi soy sauce as well. I'm going to start by crisping up the katsuobushi. As the katsuobushi is pre-shaved, it's not only oxidized, but it's also taken on a tiny bit of moisture and it becomes how I would call stale. So if you just quickly introduce it to a heated pan and then wash your pan because it was smoking too much and we didn't want it to burn, it really becomes quite noticeably crispy and removes the sort of oxidized stale flavor. So I do like a little bit of dashi in my seasoned soy sauce. So I've made a very strong dashi, which you can watch over here. To make a stronger dashi, just add more katsuobushi. If you're not using katsuobushi, I don't suggest adding more kombu to a dashi because it will become sort of slimy, but you can add more shiitake mushrooms, which I'll show you how to make here. So I'm just adding quite a lot more soy sauce than the dashi. I think it was probably about 3 parts or 4 parts soy sauce to 1 part dashi. And then traditionally in Kyushu, the soy sauce I believe is brewed with sugar. So it's got a specific name called amakuchi, ama being sweet soy sauce, or amai being sweet. And the flavor is completely different to adding sugar to soy sauce. However, getting Kyushu soy sauce is actually quite difficult in the UK, and I've never come across it, or as of yet, never come across it. So we're dissolving the sugar into the soy sauce. Japan really is a regional cooking and flavor country. So in Kyushu, the soy sauce is actually quite sweet. I'll sprinkle everything in like that now. So next we're going to just quickly cut some spring onions. Again, we're not using Evans bias. I like circles. Udon you can actually buy in a couple of different states. One of them is frozen, another one is dried, and then what I've got is these sort of semi-dry udon. So they're still bendable, but they will eventually break depending on how much you bend them. I like this the most. I think it's the closest to having fresh udon. So when I had these incredible fresh udon in Saga, I think they were cooked for about 20 to 25 minutes. And that made the udon really, really chewy, amazingly chewy. When you have fresh pasta, it generally is the longer that you cook it that makes it more chewy. And when you have dried pasta, it goes soft the longer you cook it. So I'm not quite sure with these udon, so I'm going to keep tasting them. On the packet, it says a strong fire for 2 minutes and medium to weak fire for 6 minutes. So we're going to go medium fire, medium heat. You can sort of tell because the kinks in the noodles are sort of coming out. That's when you can tell that the noodles are sort of ready, becoming ready. This has probably been on for about 6 minutes, 7 minutes now. But for me, it doesn't look done. So I'm going to leave it for another 5 minutes and come back to it after that. All right, so our noodles are ready. It took about 15 minutes, which was a lot longer than the directions on the packet for me to achieve the desirable texture for these noodles. What I'm going to do is strain the noodles into the bowl to heat up the bowl. And that's really important because we're not going to use any heat when I was making this. It was literally the egg on top of the noodles. What I'm going to do is just pre-warm the outside of the egg as well. In Japan, they would genuinely boil the bowl that they serve it in as well. So noodles in, it's a very starchy egg. Egg on top, spring onions, and then katsuobushi. Try not to use any of the powder. So I was served my udon exactly like this, and there was a little soy sauce pourer that you could pour as much as you want on. You want to mix your egg in so that it forms a sort of carbonara. We were doing it on camera, so you could actually see the egg genuinely started to cook there because we left it there for too long. As you're not actually cooking this egg with real fire. I do suggest using eggs that are really good quality that you can eat raw just in case. But if you want more soy sauce, you can add more soy sauce. Try a little bit first. No, that's good. Japanese carbonara, done.